The flooding of the reservoir area will take his home. I think that this sense of home is what we should be talking about. The first thing that captivates me, of course, are those eyes. Those eyes have all the joy, all the heartbreak, and dignity of all humanity in them. They look at us across the years and across the miles and tell us so much about the shining spirit and nobility of the common man. From his eyes, I look down to his mouth, set in a fine ivory flash, like the jackknife he surely carries in his pocket. His smile is warm and magical. His mouth is set and seems determined to bear this day with grace. He has dressed in his very best clothes and holds very still and tolerant for the photographer. There is the sharpest hint of bemusement in him. There is a sense that these people around him know so very little about him. And it is essentially a solitary portrait. This is not a family photograph. This is not a picture of Ma and Pa leaving the old home place. It is one man on a solitary journey on one day of his life. Something became broken in the American psyche with the Great Depression. We lost our concept of home, of what is home, of how to get back home. Farmers that were displaced by mortgages, foreclosed, the great Dust Bowl that ruined acres of land, the great migration of people to the West. Something broke our concept of home and what home is. Families then became broken because extended families separated and went separate ways. Every day in our work at the community kitchen, we work with people who have lost their concept of home and how to find it again. And the true essence of homelessness is that brokenness, that fact that there is no longer a home to get back to, no longer a sense of place, an identity of place. For Curtis Steiner, the mountains of East Tennessee and his farmland was his identity. The photograph identifies him as an East Tennessee farmer. So his identity is linked with place. In our postmodern American culture, we have become so transient and so scattered that a sense of home is no longer a part of our consciousness. So in an essence, we have all become homeless. Some of us simply are housed. I like numbers. I read an interesting number recently, and I had to kind of wrap my mind around it. If every Christian church in America adopted one homeless person, there would be no homeless people in America. I couldn't believe there were that many churches. But that's an interesting statistic. I think that we are in a real crisis in our country. I think we're in a crisis where tonight in Chattanooga, Tennessee, Over 300 people are going to be sleeping outside without a bathroom, without an outhouse, without running water, perhaps without even blankets to keep them warm. Tonight in Chattanooga, a mother is sitting at a kitchen table trying to decide whether she'll be able to pay rent or buy her children's medicine next month, whether she'll be able to pay the light bill or put gas in her car. Tonight in Chattanooga, Tennessee, there are hungry, broken, and poor people struggling to survive in today's world. And this is not a new struggle. This is a very, very old struggle. And this space, and this next piece that I want to talk to you about, epitomizes this struggle and what it means to us. Because we can choose to not look at the faces or to stare at them for 60 long seconds and absorb that energy. Because there is no us and them, it is all us. He is one of us. And you know what? We are him. And this Tennessee farmer lives not only in this image, but in our mind and in our heart. Just like these people, these migrant farm workers in this incredible photograph by Woolcott, as they wait for their pay, patiently, eternally. It is the eternal march of the common people. We are not an agency. We get no city, county, state, or federal funds for what we do. Now, our job program is federally funded. The apartments for families, there are some grants, but for feeding people, clothing people, all of those fundamental services, it is what the people of Chattanooga bring into our door, is what we're able to put out of our door. There are meals every day. No one should be hungry in Chattanooga. Clothing is accessible most every day. Showers, mail service. We're the address for a lot of homeless people. We offer foot care. I came here to wash feet. I wash feet. So we do foot care. We have a job placement program and life skills program to help people become employed. We work with other agencies, Veterans Affairs, Channels of Love, Chattanooga Cares, the Hamilton County Health Department, DHS, the list goes on and on. We offer people laundry, all of those practical human needs. We have a drug and alcohol addiction recovery program. We work with the Hamilton County Health Department. We have a medical clinic on site. That's a comprehensive medical clinic. We have 10 apartments for families in transition so that they can have a stable place for up to 2 years to live and have their children stable. All of that is great, and it's vital, and it saves lives, and it's important. I think the most important thing we do is to have a relationship. We have worked for several years with a man who is essentially dying now from profound alcoholism. And I've cried with him, I've yelled at him, I've begged, I've pleaded, I've thrown up my hands, I've tried every tactic I could think of to reach him. Nothing, there's nothing. He's drunk all the time. He just got out of the hospital and he came to see me this morning and he said, the doctor told me just to go ahead and keep drinking. And I said, what? And he said, the doctor said to drink all I want. And I said, what are you saying to me? And he said, the doctor said I'm dying, and that stopping now is not going to stop it. That I may as well just drink olive oil. And he asked me, he said, when I die, will you bury me? And I said, is this how this is going to end? And he said, this is what you get for loving me. And you know what? We do love him. And we will bury him. And until we bury him, we're going to keep on loving him. And I'm going to probably keep on fussing. But he knows that we love him and care about him. And that's, I think, really what we